more back. 10% more after the year. Another scenario was that the interest to be paid monthly and the capital upon the end of term. Meaning you have to service your debt. Every single month you have to pay £5 for the £100 you borrowed. And after 1 year, then you have to pay the whole £100 back. So these were all types of riba at the time of Rasulullah ﷺ that Islam prohibited and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited in the Quran by saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa dharu ma baqiya min riba, or you believe in Allah and leave that which is remaining from riba. Okay, the types of riba. The types of riba, we can talk about the types of riba in two different ways regarding in that which the riba takes place and in the reality of riba. The types of riba that takes place is riba in business or riba in borrowing. So the Quran came down prohibiting riba in business, in borrowing, whereas the Sunnah came down prohibiting riba in business. Because the riba in business is actually a means to the riba in borrowing. Okay, so the Quran deals with the riba in borrowing, and the Sunnah dealt with riba in business. Also, you can look at riba by its reality, meaning that the reality of riba is that riba is of two types. Not just the one type that we know of, but two types. The first is called riba al-nasi'ah, which is called the riba of delay. And the second is called riba al-fadl, the riba of increase. Okay, in that transaction, wherein I gave Salim the £10, and he gave me the £5 note now, and the other £5 he would give me the next day, the type of riba that happened there was a riba of delay. He delayed in paying me back the £5. Why? Because I was giving him pound, and he was giving me pounds. So because it's pound and pound, as we'll take right now, it has to be the same quantity and has to be the same time. These are the two conditions. If these two conditions, or even if one of the conditions are not fulfilled, the riba al-nasi'ah takes place. Nasi'ah meaning delayed. Okay, guys? Now, in the same way, for example, that man in the grocery store, who went out of the shop with the £10, he delayed paying you the change. So because of that, riba took place. How would you make it halal? You'd make that halal by intending in your heart straight away, I have made you my agent. So even though you bought from him, but you intend in your heart saying, no, you're my kafil, you're my agent, go out and get the change and come back, and then we will do the business, which is the transaction. At that point, that transaction will become halal. However, if all you did was give him the money and take the commodity, and he just went out with the money, that would become haram, and that would be riba. What type of riba? Riba nasi'ah. The next is the riba al-fadl, the riba of increase, meaning £10, £12 back, please. Okay. The real riba, brothers and sisters, the real riba is riba nasi'ah. The actual riba, the riba that ulama have complete agreement about is riba nasi'ah. That is real riba. The riba al-fadl is only a means to the riba nasi'ah. Right? Subhanallah, amazing thing, isn't it? We had thought riba was exactly the opposite. We had thought the only problem with riba was that the increase, isn't it? No, that is only a means, a wasila. Right? The real riba is the riba nasi'ah. This is why Rasulullah ﷺ said in the authentic hadith, إِنَّمَا الرِّبَا رِبَا النَّسِيئَةِ. Verily the riba is riba nasi'ah. It's the riba of delay. If you think about it, why does Islam prohibit this? Because it's in the delay that the hoarding takes place, isn't it? It's in the delay the monopoly of the wealth takes place. If, for example, I took money from everyone, not lending, but I'm saying, okay, let's say it's business, right? If I took money from every person in England, took all their money, with the condition that I will give them more back. Okay? I'll give them more back. I would take all the money from people in England. At that point, for that particular time, I would be the owner of all the wealth. I could do what I want with it. Isn't it? SubhanAllah, that would have caused so much problems. This is what riba an-nasiya is that you delay in paying it back. Okay. The hadith of riba, well, inshallah, it'll become very clear now. How does riba and nasiya take? I'm sure people are confused. But look at the hadith of riba. It says, the hadith of riba is reported by a Muslim, rahimahullah, is that al-dhahabu bil-dhahab, wal-fidda bil-fidda, al-burru bil-burr, al-sha'ir bil-sha'ir, al-milhu bil-milh, yadan biyad, mithlun bi-mithl, yadan biyad. This is what Rasulullah said. This is the main hadith of riba, and from this you will understand everything, inshallah. Rasulullah said, if you want to sell gold for gold, and silver for silver, and barley and wheat for wheat, and barley for barley, and salt for salt, then it has to be the same quantity for the same quantity, and it has to be at the same time. Yadan biyad, in the hand to hand. Okay? So here the ulama have looked at this hadith, and they have said this hadith is talking about two different types of commodities. It's talking about gold and silver as one, because gold and silver are monetary currency for everybody in the world, right? And it's talking about food stuff. It's talking about wheat, barley, and salt, right? Because Rasulullah obviously does not really intend from this hadith only gold and silver, and only wheat, barley, and salt. He intends that which stands for it, isn't it? What he means is the currency, that which is currency, and that which is food stuff. This is the opinion of the four imams, of the four schools. Whereas, of course, Imam Ibn Hazm rahimahullah, Zahiri, he was of the opinion that no, it only means those particular things that we mentioned in the hadith. The most correct opinion is that no, Rasulullah really mentioned these 5 things here because they are signs for those categories that Rasulullah is talking about. He's talking about the monetary, the currency category, and he's also talking about the food category. Okay, so therefore from this we know that riba takes place in 2 categories, either in the monetary category or in the foodstuff category. Okay, guys? So therefore, let's look at each category separately. Let's look at the category of the monetary. The monetary category has 2 species in it. Each species, right, the category of money has 2 species that Rasulullah mentioned. The first species is gold, and the second one is silver. Why am I saying species? Because the ulama use the term jins. Okay, means the species basically. So we have gold and we have silver. So when you're selling the same species for the same species, right, gold for gold, then you must have, as Rasulullah said, yadan biyad, and mithlun bi mithl, must be hand in hand, and the same quantity for the same quantity, irrespective of whether the gold that one is selling is 18 karat or the other one is selling 24 karat, irrespective of whether this one is selling gold in one form and the other one is selling gold in another form. As long as it is gold for gold, right, has to be the same quantity, has to be the same time. I'll come to, I know people are thinking why 18 karat and 24 karat. I'll come to explain to that very quickly, very soon, inshallah. Same time as well. Silver for silver. If you're selling silver for silver, it has to be the same time and has to be the same quantity. Okay. Let's come to the next category, which is the food. Same. If you're selling barley for barley, it has to be hand in hand and at the same time. In the same way, if you're selling rice, and you want from the other person rice as well, okay, you're selling basmati rice and you're getting the other long sun rice, for example. Yeah, do you have sunrise here? Sorry? Okay, anyway. You're selling basmati rice for another rice, has to be the same quantity and has to be at the same time. Meaning 1 kilo for 1 kilo, it has to be at the same time. This is very important to understand. Okay? Same way, water for water. I'm selling water. Remember, we're not selling it for money. We're selling water and we want from the other guy water. Has to be the same time and has to be the same quantity. Okay, guys? That's very important to understand. Okay. What if in the same category, remember this, in the category of money we have 2 species, right? What if we're selling species to species? We're selling gold for silver and silver for gold, for example.